Let's see. Hopefully there we go. Looks like we're up and running at this point. Hope everybody is doing well. It's been a week since we've been together here, and looking forward to doing some biblical Hebrew review with you tonight. So let's see. We'll just give everybody a few minutes to get settled in, and let me know if you have any questions, any business items we need to attend to before we get started. Happy to help in any way I can. Better straighten out my camera here. All right. So let's see. Just give everybody a second, and then we'll get rolling. There we go. All right. Looks like I got all of my all the windows open, and we're ready to go. So let's do this. All right, so for lesson 9, I figured it's time to do a review because we've covered a lot of material over the course of the last, I don't know, what has it been, a month or so since we started with this. And let's see, let's get this video capture thing fixed here. We're gonna move that up. There we go. All right, now it's not cut off so much. So it's been about a month, so I figured it's high time we just review some of the material that we've been working on. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And there we go. All right. So we're going all the way back to the beginning here. So for those who might be new to the broadcast, into this course that I'm running here, so what we're doing is we're looking at modern Hebrew for really the simple reason that if we're going to understand biblical Hebrew, it's an ancient language, it's an archaic language, and it's much easier to learn an archaic language if we're able to speak the language to some degree. And so, if you do, I don't know what they're doing these days at Jewish Theological Seminary, but at least when I was there, if you do a PhD or even a master's degree in Hebrew Bible, you have to also study modern Hebrew. And so that's just, as one of my friends put it, it's the beast of JTS. And I'm really so glad that they made us do that because it really made the biblical Hebrew learning experience far richer. And so, for that reason, I've spent a lot of time over the years encouraging students to do the same thing, learn a little modern Hebrew, and then when you study biblical Hebrew, it's a snap by comparison. All right, so here we go. So Hebrew reads right to left, same letters, modern and biblical. Now, not the same phonemes, right? So phonemes are sounds on which meaning is based. And so the way the letters are pronounced today is in some respects different from how they would have been pronounced in, the days of the monarchical period, say. All right. If you want to think of it as Hebrew Bible days or Old Testament days or however you look at that period, the period of the First Testament, whatever. Okay. So vowels, the nikud, are essentially training wheels in modern Hebrew. So when you learn modern Hebrew, you get used to fairly quickly how to read without vowel signs. Okay, the language, of course, has vowels, but the vowel signs in the written script is really just not necessary when you understand the grammar and the essential vocab. Okay, all right. So in lesson 1, the first thing we started with was learning the word shalom. Now notice that I put it without the nikud and with the nikud. Well, I guess I write it out there, don't I? And we also present it in transliteration. So if you have not I can't talk. It's been a long week. So if you have not yet learned the Hebrew alphabet, you can still profit by this course. Okay. So the first word that we looked at was shalom, which is used to mean peace, hello, and goodbye. Okay, peace, hello, and goodbye. All right, the second word that we looked at was yes, and that is pronounced ken. The e vowel is, a little shorter than English's long E vowel, like in obey, but a little bit longer than in, I don't know, say the name Ken. Okay, it's in between there. Okay, Ken. All right, and this means yes, yes. Okay, so the first word we had was shalom, and the second word is Ken. Ken. Now, I should mention, if you're tuning in and um, if you haven't looked at the Hebrew alphabet videos that I've produced, there are on my YouTube channel a number of Hebrew alphabet videos, and so I would encourage you to check that out. Okay, and you'll be able to do this more profitably. All right, next we've got lo, lo. Okay, with nikud, you can see that there is a dot above the aleph. Okay, dot above the aleph. Without nikud, or bli nikud, we would say bli means without in modern Hebrew. You could spell it B-L-I, bli. Okay, without nikud, there you go. But it's transliterated lo, and it means no or not. No or not. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm looking at the comments there, just reading that. Just not quite clear what's in the second comment there. Yep. I like the first one. There is no fear here. There is no fear here. I love it. All right. Um all right. So next, yes, and with the rabbi, I guess. Yes, and with the rabbi, was that what you were trying to say there? I think I'm not sure. All right. Anyways, so next we have what? So ma, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So I've got a funny story about this one, Clarence. So, yeah, Ken and Barbie, very good. um, yeah. So when I was taking my modern Hebrew exam back in, I think this was 2011, and I was not good at French or German because I just really didn't need to use it much. My dissertation was on Masorah, so I just didn't need to use a lot of French or German. But nevertheless, I passed the reading proficiency exam in French and German on the first try without ever taking a French or German class in academic French or German. However, I had taken Hebrew at a very advanced level, modern Hebrew at a very advanced level, and I actually failed it the first time. And the reason was over one word. And it was a non Hebrew word that was just transliterated into Hebrew. And I was rushing through the test and didn't think of context clues, but it was, actually as a result of this word ordeal, which is not a Hebrew term. And I was looking it up in the dictionary that I was allowed to use, couldn't find it, and I ended up not making enough progress. And even though I'd never taken German and French and passed the exam and had taken years of modern Hebrew, I failed that exam the first time around. So it was just terribly embarrassing. But obviously, I did pass the exam the next time, and so on and so forth. But yes, sometimes when when you look at foreign words in Hebrew script and you try to read it as a Hebrew word, it can lead you astray. So I thought he was trying to say yes and with the rabbi, but he was saying Ken and Barbie. So there you go. All right. So number 4 is ma. Okay. And ma is an interrogative pronoun, which means what. Okay. It's the question word what. You can see the transliteration there. Okay. And then we've got the word ze, which is a masculine singular demonstrative adjective. And we said that demonstratives are pointing words. They're pointing words. Okay. I'm glad you found it funny. Yeah. But that really happened. Highly embarrassing. But yeah, demonstratives are pointing words, and oftentimes as they are translated as this or that. Okay. So the word ze is typically translated as this, but when referring to masculine singular words. Okay, when referring to masculine singular words. All right, let's see. So what do we got next? We got ze. All right, now the question word, the interrogative pronoun who, okay, which in Hebrew is me. Me. So me in Hebrew means who in English. Me is who. Okay. Me is who. All right, next we've got the independent pronoun or the subject pronoun ani. And ani means I. So if you're starting a sentence with the word I, you may begin that sentence with ani. Now, sometimes you are not going to need the word ani because verbs have, the pronoun embedded within them, we could say. Okay. But ani, we're going to see a lot of sentences that use that. The masculine singular, ata, okay, means you. So it's the you masculine singular form when you're referring to one male, ata. Okay. And you can see with the nikud, oops, there we go. There it is. Okay. And you may want to quiz yourself on these vowels. We haven't spent a lot of time learning the vowels. I have a video on the Hebrew vowels, and you can find that on the YouTube channel. And so the first vowel underneath the aleph here is patach, which historically is a short a vowel. It's a short a vowel, ah. Okay. In the tav, you have a dagesh, which historically, in this case, was for the doubling of the letter, and that's why I transliterate it with the letter T written twice. Okay. Now, in modern Hebrew, we don't pronounce gemination or doubling as we call it. Okay. All right. So, ata. We said the vowel underneath the tav is kamatz, which historically is a long a vowel, but in modern Hebrew, it's going to be pronounced the same as the patach. Okay. And then that final hey is not a consonant in this case. It's a consonantal grapheme, a written symbol, a consonantal grapheme that often serves to indicate that there is a long a vowel underneath or following the preceding consonant, ata. Okay, ata. So you masculine singular. All right, then we had the word who, and who means he. So me is who and who is he, right? The Hebrew question word me translates to the English question word who. And the Hebrew word who is an independent pronoun meaning he. All right, I'm going over to the comments section here. Hopefully let's see, is that all visible on the screen there? Looks like it might be. Maybe I need to stretch this out a little bit. Give me 1 second here. Everybody. Oops, let's see. Can I do that? Just want to make sure everybody can see the entire chat. Yeah, it's probably better if we stretch that out. And for the time being, we'll just do that, okay? All right, there we go. Hopefully everybody can see that a little bit better now. All right. Okay, so just for practice, I'm going into Hebrew live streams 10 minutes before start time and typing. There you go. Efo ata, anipo. Very good. And listen, that's the way you learn. That's the way you learn. We learn language by using language. Okay, this idea, which unfortunately is all too common and is perpetuated among Bible college and seminary students who are trying to learn biblical languages, that you read silently, and that it's just a reading and decoding exercise, learning biblical languages. It's probably the worst way to do things. You want to try using the language in real life, because the more you use it, the better you're going to understand it, the more natural the reflex will be. I was actually out, shooting some basketballs the other day, just killing time, and or on YouTube, do you have to say unaliving time so that you don't get demonetized? I don't know. But anyways, for my son, taught me, man, it's going on 2 years now, how to shoot a basketball in one fluid motion. And it's just something that I never learned when I was a kid. And so he's worked with me and worked with me and worked with me. And I was shooting with pretty good accuracy and just as one fluid motion. It took me 2 years to do it, but I can actually do it now. What seemed difficult, actually impossible, the mechanics of shooting a basketball properly, it's actually very difficult. Um, but now I've gotten it to the point where I've got it down. I'm not ready for the NBA. They're not scouting me, at my pickup games or whatever, but I can actually shoot a basketball properly now. And it was just by repetition, 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 and actually using the skills that I was being taught. So, same thing with Hebrew. You want to use the skills that you're being taught, actually put it into practice in everyday life. Okay. For those who just joined the broadcast, just want to draw your attention. We're trying to get 5 super chats for this broadcast. Those even the smaller ones of whatever it is, $1.99 or something like that. That all adds up and allows me to purchase the equipment that I need for these live streams and just to keep this channel going. And if you're not familiar with my Patreon channel, you get full access to all of my videos unabridged. And so check that out. Appreciate your support. All right, let's go. Oh, and yeah, and don't forget to hit the like button, please. All right. All right, so next we've got the word sefer. Sefer. Okay. So the letters there are, or the consonants, I should say, the consonantal graphemes are samech, pe, resh. Samech, pe, resh. Okay, read right to left. The vowel sign underneath the samech here. Okay, there we go. I wish I got to figure out how to turn the cursor into like an arrow. I know this is easy to do, but I'm not going to waste your time and do it now while we're streaming, but I got to remember to do that. So anyways, the samech here, okay, the vowel sign underneath it is tsere, tsere, and that typically represents a historically long E vowel, a historically long E vowel. Okay, tsere. All right, and then underneath the pe, which does not have a dagesh in it, it doesn't have the dot, so that's going to be pronounced with an F sound or a PH if you choose to transliterate it that way. Some people like to do that because, if it has the hardening dot, it's a P. If it lacks it, it's a PH, like in philosophy. I just chose to use an F for that. There's no right or wrong with this. Okay, and the vowel sign underneath it is segol, which historically is a short E vowel. It represents the short E. Okay. All right, so sefer means book. All right. Next we have bayit. Bayit, which means house. Bayit. Okay, and there it is without the vowels. Now, this same word here can be pronounced beit, which means the house of. Okay, but even still, generally when you're reading Hebrew, you don't need the nikud. You don't need the vowel signs because the context will indicate which pronunciation you're supposed to use. Okay, more on that later. By the way, I don't think I introduced this term, but the word for school in Hebrew is bet sefer. Bet sefer. Yep, bet sefer. So if you take the construct form sefer, meaning book, okay, and you put the word bet, which means the house of, before it, bet sefer, it means literally the house of a book, but the way it functions is as the word school, bet sefer. Okay. All right. Next we have Tov and Secrets of Bible. Glad you're with us. Thanks for chiming in there. Okay, so the word tov means good. Now you'll notice, just by way of reminder, that the Hebrew consonantal grapheme vav, can serve as a consonant, which we would pronounce in modern Hebrew as v, but it also is used to represent the O vowel. And when it does that, it has an O, the cholam, over the vav, tov. Remember, though, that before, I'm going to scroll up here, sorry, hopefully this doesn't make you dizzy, that the word hu also has a vav in the middle, functioning as a vowel, but here the dot is in the middle, and that's shuk. That makes the oo sound, so hu. So here, if the dot is in the middle, oo, okay, and if the dot is over, like here, it is tov. Tov. Okay? All right. So some simple sentences here that I put together when we did the first broadcast. Let me stretch that out a little. There we go. All right, so the first one, ze sefer. Here it is with the nikud. Ze sefer. Ze sefer. This book. But it doesn't mean the phrase this book. It means this is a book. This is what we often call in English anyway, when we're, well, let me rephrase that. This is what we often call when we're teaching Hebrew and English a verbless sentence, because there is no verb here in Hebrew. Okay? There's no verb here in Hebrew. Ze means this. We said that was the masculine singular demonstrative. And sefer means book. This is a book. Okay. Next we have ze bayit. Ze bayit. So literally ze means this. Bayit means house. Okay. This house, but that's not what it means. It doesn't mean this house like you're talking about a specific house. It's a verbless sentence. This is a house. This is a house. Where's the word is? There is no Hebrew verb for is that's required here. And where is the indefinite article a? Not there, because we don't need it. The word bayit on its own means house or a house. Okay? Context determines which one it means. Ze bayit, ze sefer. Okay, now, this one, hasefer tov. Hasefer tov. So we know that tov means good. Okay? Hasefer tov. We know that sefer means book. There it is. Without the nikud, bli nikud. Im nikud, with the vocalization. So sefer means book, tov means good, but what about the ha? We see the letter he at the beginning as a prefix. And notice that the he there with the patach under it in the following dagesh, okay, is the definite article. So literally, the book good. The book good. Ha means the, sefer means book, and tov means good. The book is good. The book is good. So if you have a noun with the definite article on it and then an adjective without the definite article, you're going to have to supply the word is. Hasefer tov. Okay. All right. Now we've got a question in the chat here. So let's look at that. Why does bayit go to habayit in the Hebrew Bible? Yeah, really good question. So let's bring up something here. I want to make sure everybody can see this. So I'm going to switch windows for 1 second. All right, where do I have to go? All right, let's see. We're going to switch over here. And let me pull up accordance. And I'm going to bring up the lexicon here. I have a lot of tabs open here. Hello, there we go. Let's get rid of that. And Hebrew entry. There we go. Okay, so let's look at this. So this is in a biblical Hebrew lexicon. I'm going to make myself disappear for a minute. Video capture so that you can just see this, and just want to make sure, is this whoops. Okay, just want to make sure that you're able to see everything. Okay. So here's the word bayit. Notice the entry with the patach underneath the beit. Whoops, why won't it do that? Hold on. Okay, underneath the first letter beit, there is a patach, the historically short a vowel. Okay, and that is how it is listed. In Arabic, okay, the word is beit, okay, and it has the a short a vowel followed by a yud, which is often translated when you take an a and an I together, it makes the a sound, and so that's why you can understand why in it can be transliterated as a long e. Okay, and in phrases like Beit El, Bethel down here, okay, in Greek it can be spelled ai, but it has a historically e vowel there. Okay. All right, now the question though is with regard to the first vowel here underneath the beit, why is it a short a there, but then when it's in the determined form, or the definite form, I should say, why does it change? Well, what you're going to see here, if you check this out, is that in the plural, the word is batim. It's with a long a vowel. Whoops. Get out of here. Get out of here. There we go. Batim. Okay. And then when we add suffixes, even though the dagesh is there, okay, it's still a long a. Okay. And then we even run into when it functions locatively, like meaning to the house, you get both a long A and a short A. Okay. And the bottom line is that when you study historical Hebrew grammar, let me turn around here for 1 second. What did I do with? Yeah, here's all right. Let me switch screens here. Okay, here we go. So let's pull this off the shelf. Okay, so I had introduced some of you in a previous broadcast to this. So, Phonology and Morphology of Biblical Hebrew by Joshua Blau. Okay, now deceased. Okay. And this is really advanced stuff. This is not the kind of stuff that you'd ever even deal with in seminary, but what you find is that the word bayit, when you look at all of the forms and how it develops and all that, this form is actually an anomaly, and that's just all there is to it. Yeah. Sometimes you get a few words in Hebrew that are just anomalies, and which we have in English as well, right? Why does the word knife begin with a K? Okay. The number 2, the way it's vocalized, is also very strange. And the other word for I, anochi, also has a long a vowel in there, in at least the way it's written by the Tiberian Masoretes, the scribes, and that is also an anomaly. So we do run into some of these, and I don't know that there is a really clear explanation for it, but that is the spelling tradition that they preserve. In terms of pronunciation, though, doesn't change anything, at least not in the modern pronunciation system. Okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, great. And let's see, where are we at? All right, we're about half an hour in here. Yeah, those of you who are new to the broadcast, again, just want to draw your attention. I'm trying to go for 5 super chats for this for this broadcast, just to help support the channel. And please be sure to check out my Patreon page, where becoming a member of the Hebrew and Aramaic Comprehensive tier for $12 a month, I think it is. Good, Jenk's using his his Arabic there. Awesome. By becoming a member on the Patreon page for $12 a month, you gain access to my entire library of videos, totally unabridged. All right, there we go. And I did just get another 10 copies of my book, Jesus's Bible, in. So for anybody who's looking for a signed copy of that, if you'd like to purchase that, you can let me know. The best way is to contact me through the Patreon page, or if you're a member of the YouTube channel, do that and I'll get that. But yeah, so that book, Jesus's Bible, A Concise History of the Hebrew Scriptures, is available. Happy to send out signed copies. Someone just asked me for one recently, and I'll be sending that out tomorrow. All right, here we go. Let's get back to the Google Doc now. All right, so we just did HaSefer Tov. The book is good. Okay. All right, so then the definite article, we talked about this in a previous video as well. Let's just stretch this out a little. There we go. So the word sefer, which we just said actually means book. Okay, that means book. There it is without the nikud. And it can mean book or a book, because there is no indefinite article in Hebrew. There is no indefinite article. Okay. All right. If we want to say the book, however, we have to add the definite article. Ha-sefer. Ha-sefer. Okay? The book. The book. Okay, and we notice that the definite article has three parts. It has the consonantal grapheme he, it has a patach, a short a vowel, and it has a dagesh, or a dot, in the following consonant, which in biblical times signaled doubling of the consonant. So it would have been pronounced hasefer, hasefer. Okay, we have that gemination or doubling in Arabic today, but modern Hebrew does not double or geminate letters. So, all right, bayit. The next word, bayit, means house or a house. Yep. House or a house. Right. And then habayit, the house. The house. And again, the same phenomenon there. All right, now going on to the next lesson. And this is all, for those who are just tuning in, this is all review tonight. Okay. The first word is gadol, gadol. And if you want to identify the consonants, I'll give you a second to do that. Maybe I'll give you like a 5-second pause for you to figure that out. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a few more seconds while I get myself a drink of water, because when I talk for 45 minutes straight, my mouth gets a little dry. So tell you what, I'm going to go get a drink of water. I'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, we're back. Thanks for your patience. All right, here we go. So let's review these terms. All right, we've got gadol. So gimel, dalet, vav, lamed. Gimel, dalet, vav, lamed. And the first consonant is gimel, which makes the g sound. Very good. Gimel. And then we have dalet. So that makes the D sound. Then the vav, historically, we said is a W. And that's why it comes to also serve as a vowel indicator for O and U vowels, right? Because they both make the W sound. But we call it vav today. And as a consonant, we'll pronounce it as V, even though historically that is not the reality. And here this is serving not as a consonant, but as a vowel indicator for the O vowel, gadol, gadol. And there's lamed, so gadol. Vowel signs, just for those who want to learn the names, we have kamatz underneath the gimel, okay, historically along a vowel. And then cholam over the vav, that dot, cholam vav. Okay. Gadol means big. The next word, kuf tet nun, and that's the final form of nun there. Kuf tet nun, and two instances of the vowel kamatz, and so it's pronounced katan, stress on the final syllable. Gadol, stress on the final syllable. Katan, stress on the final syllable. Big, small. The next one is yafeh, which is the masculine singular form. The masculine singular form. Okay. And yafeh means beautiful. Okay. Has a number of other meanings too, depending on the context. Yafeh. If you want to put it in the feminine, it's yafa. Now, these notes actually are from a unit where it was only masculine terms we were dealing with because, and the reason for that is not a preference of gender, it's because the masculine form in Hebrew is generally the base form, okay? It's the foundational form, okay? So yafeh, yafa if you're referring to a female, okay? Yud, pe, he. And notice that the he is not functioning as a consonant. It is a vowel indicator as well. Yes, you can. Yep. All right. And then next we have me'od. Okay. This time without a vav. So me'od. Okay. And the two dots underneath it is schwa. That is schwa. Okay. So just a reduced vowel, me'od. Okay. Mem, aleph, dalet in the without nikud. There it is with the vav in it, just so you can see it. All right, and so let's do some more reading practice. So if we want to say the book is good, the book is good. HaSefer Tov. HaSefer Tov. And try to read it with the nikud and without the nikud. Okay. HaSefer Tov. All right, next, the house is big. Habayit Gadol. Habayit Gadol. Habayit Gadol. The house is big. The book is beautiful. The book is beautiful. HaSefer Yafeh. HaSefer Yafeh. And the book is very good. HaSefer Tov Meod. HaSefer Tov Meod. Okay. HaSefer Tov Meod. All right, good. So, by way of review, Shalom means hello, peace, goodbye. Ken means yes. Okay. So we could actually, if you wanted to say, is the book beautiful? HaSefer Yafeh? HaSefer Yafeh? And if you wanted to say, yes, the book is beautiful, Ken HaSefer Yafeh. Ken HaSefer Yafeh. Is the book very good? HaSefer Tov Meod? HaSefer Tov Meod? Ken HaSefer Tov Meod. All inflection. You don't need to change the word order. We'll see that below. All right. Lo means no or not. Ma means what? Mi means who. Ani means I. Ata means you. Who means he or sometimes it, if we're referring to something inanimate. Okay. Sefer means book. Bayit means house. Tov means good. Gadol means big. Katan, small. Yafeh, beautiful. And me'od is the adverb meaning very. Oh, and then of course the, ha. All right. So now the word yesh. We learned the word yesh, and that means there is. Yesh, there is. Okay. How do we say there is a book? Yesh, there is. Sefer, book. Okay. So here, there is no verb is technically in Hebrew. What we have is the existential particle, like dealing with existence, the existential particle, meaning there is, but it's not really a verb. Okay. The word is a verb in English, but yesh is not a verb in Hebrew. It's an existential particle. Okay. It shows existence of something. Yesh, sefer. There is book. Okay. But we supply the indefinite article because English requires one. Hebrew doesn't have an indefinite article. Yesh sefer. There is a house. Yesh bayit. Yesh bayit. Yesh bayit. There is a house. There is a good book. There is a good book. Yesh sefer tov. Yesh sefer tov. There is a good book. Yesh sefer tov. Okay. There's a small book. Yesh sefer katan. Yesh sefer katan. There is a beautiful house. Now here we're going to have to reverse the order. Pardon me. In English, we would say beautiful house. In Hebrew, we'll say house beautiful. The adjective comes after. Yesh bayit yafeh. Yesh bayit yafeh. There is a beautiful house. Yesh bayit yafeh. Okay. Then we have we learn the negative existential particle, which means there is not. Now remember before I told you that that lo means no or not, but you don't need lo when you have the word ein. Ein is negative on its own. Ein. So if we want to say there is no book, ein sefer, ein sefer, ein sefer. There is a house, or there is no house, I mean to say, ein bayit, ein bayit. There is no good book, ein sefer tov, ein sefer tov. Yesh sefer katan. Interesting. Yeah, I'd have to look at that. Okay. There's no big house. And there is not. Bayit gadol. House big. Bayit gadol. And bayit gadol. All right. Now, when we want to deal with possession in modern Hebrew, and in biblical Hebrew, for that matter, there is no verb to have. Okay, so the verb to have does not exist. There is no verb whereby we'd say I have, you have, he has. What we do is we form it using the existential particle yesh, and then we add a prepositional phrase to, and then whoever the person is. So if I want to say I have a book, okay, I would say literally in Hebrew, there is to me book. There is to me book. Yesh li. And here we have li. Yesh li sefer. I have a good book. Literally, there is to me book good. Yesh li sefer tov. Yesh li sefer tov. Okay. All right, so the prepositional phrases to me, li. Li. To you, lecha. Lecha. If you're referring to a male, lecha. Lach. Lach. To you when referring to a female. To him would be lo. That could also mean to it, by the way, if you're, speaking of something inanimate. Okay. Yeah, there's a bad book. There's an evil book. There you go. Yeah, sefer. Okay. Ein sefer tov. There's no good book. Yeah, there's a bad book. All right. To her, la. La. To her. To us, lanu. Lanu. To us, lanu. To y'all, when there's at least one male present, we use the masculine plural. Lachem. 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 To y'all, when referring to females, all females. Lachen. To them, lahem. Lahem. If at least one male is present, and lahen. Lahen, to them. If it's all feminine objects or feminine people. All right. Thanks for all those who are tuning in. I noticed the viewership is really going up. Just want to draw everybody's attention to the super chats. We're trying to get 5 before the end of this broadcast today. Your support really helps. Be sure to check out my Patreon channel as well, Biblical Languages and Literature, where by becoming a monthly subscriber, you gain access to my entire library of videos, totally unabridged, lots of stuff that you can't see on the YouTube page. Cool. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bruchim abayim to all those who are here. And here we go. So I have a book, Yesh li sefer. You have time. Here's a new word for us that we didn't cover tonight. Yesh lecha. This is, and lecha is masculine singular. Yesh lecha zman. Zman. Zayin mem nun. Zman. Yesh lecha zman. Okay. She has money. Okay, she has money. Yesh la. There is to her. Yesh la. There is to her kesef. She has money. Yesh la kesef. Kesef. There you go. She has money. Okay, then with the negative existential particle ein, there's not. So I don't have a book. Literally, there is not. To me, book. Ein li sefer, as we said. Ein li sefer. Ein li sefer. All right. Ein lo zman. Ein lo zman. He doesn't have time. There is not to him time. Ein lo zman. Ein lo zman. We don't have a car. There is not to us a car. Ein lanu oto. Or the other word for car is michonit. Michonit. That's a more common Hebrew word. It's actually an authentic Hebrew word, whereas auto is not. So we could say ein lanu michonit. Michonit. Ein lanu michonit. Yeah, Clarence, you're funny. I like that comment. All right, so do you have a book? All we're doing is changing inflection now. All we're doing is changing inflection. So literally, there is to you book. There is to you book. Okay, sorry, the question marks are not in the right order or not in the right location. It's that right to left thing that got messed up when I did these notes. So just ignore that though. Yesh lecha, because we're speaking to a male. Yesh lecha, so that's to a male. Yesh lecha sefer. There is to you book. Now notice that Hebrew does not have an auxiliary verb that corresponds to the English word do. Okay? Do you have a book? All we're saying is there is to you book. Yesh lecha sefer. Yesh lecha sefer. Don't you have time? Literally, there is not to you time. Here I wrote this as if we're referring to a female. So we'll need the feminine singular. Not ein lecha, but ein lach. Ein lach zman. Okay. All right, so now how would we say I have time? And I want you to throw your answer in the chat. Let's see who can get it first. And it's okay to transliterate. You don't have to use the Hebrew script in the chat. How would you say in Hebrew, I have time? And remember, you have to kind of rephrase it, right? We're not saying I have. What are we really saying in Hebrew? We have to use that existential particle. All right. So here we go. I have time. Yesh li zman. Yesh li zman. I have time. There we go. Nice job, Clarence. Yesh li zman. All right, now, she doesn't have a car. We said car. We'll use the word michonit here. She doesn't have a car. So we're not saying she doesn't have, pardon me. I really got a tickle in my throat tonight. We're not saying she doesn't have. We're saying there is not to her car. How would we express that in Hebrew? Okay. How would we express that in Hebrew? Okay. And it would be en la mechonit. En la mechonit. En la mechonit. There is not to her car. Now, if we're speaking to a male and we want to say, do you have money? What are we really asking there? There is to you money. Yesh lecha kesef. Yesh lecha kesef. Okay. Did I put them there? Yes. So yesh li zman. I wrote them in here. Ein la oto or ein la mechonit. And then I don't know why there's no number 3 here, but yesh lecha kesef. And again, sorry for when I wrote those up, I didn't get the right to left orientation correct. All right, so no word, no auxiliary verb for do or does. We just have to use inflection. Okay. All right, now, in terms of questions, so if we want to say, what is this? Well, we already learned that the word what, the interrogative pronoun what is ma. All right, let me just stretch this out a little bit there. And let's move that over just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so ma is what? And if we're speaking generally and we just want to say this, like some random thing, we're going to use the masculine singular word ze. Ze. So what is this? Ma ze. What? This. As a question, we don't need a verb is. This is a verbless state or verbless question. Okay, verbless sentence. Ma ze. Okay. What is this book? Now, this is a tricky one here, and we haven't dealt with this a lot. But literally what we're going to say is, what the book the this? What the book the this? I know this sounds totally strange in English. What the book the this? Ma hasefer hazeh. Ma hasefer hazeh. Ma hasefer hazeh. What is this book? Okay, now we said that who, if we want to ask the question who, it is me. Me. And so me is the interrogative meaning who. Okay. And so if we want to say who is he, it is me who. Me who. Me means who, and who means he. Me who. Who is he? Who is this? Mise. If we're referring to a male. We haven't learned the feminine form of this yet. Okay? It's going to be zot. Mi zot. But right now we're just doing mise. And that is how you would say who is this when referring to a male. Who is this? Okay. All right. So yesh sefer, there is a book. Yesh sefer, is there a book? Just use inflection to make a question. If you want to say you have a book, yesh lecha sefer. Yesh lecha sefer. There is to you book. Yesh lecha sefer. Do you have a book? Literally, there is to you book. Yesh lecha sefer. Yesh lecha sefer. Or yesh lecha sefer. I mean to say, I forgot to inflect it. Okay. All right, let's do some reading here. So let's have somebody try to transliterate in Latin characters the first statement. We'll treat it as a sentence, and go ahead and try to transliterate the Hebrew there. Okay. In fact, you know what I'm going to do so it's easier for you to see on the screen? Let me increase. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. No, wrong. Here we go. Let's just increase the size so that you can see it more easily. There you go. Probably a little too much, but whatever. All right, so statement 1, go ahead and transliterate that into the chat. And let's see who can get it first. Make a little competition. There's 6 of you watching right now. All right. So, first word, yesh. There is. Yesh. Li, to me. Li, to me. All right. Jank, good. Buy it, house. And gadol, big. Yesh li bayit gadol. There is to me house big. There is to me house big, which in English means I have a big house. Yesh li bayit gadol. Very good. An excellent transliteration there in the chat. Am I able to, yeah, I don't know how to do that. Well, I was trying to give you a thumbs up there, but whatever. It's not letting me do that in this. Okay. So, next. Second one. So, en li sefer. En li sefer. There is not to me sefer. Book. There is not to me book, which we would translate as I have no book. I don't have a book. Any of those would be fine. All right, number 3. And again, I just apologize for this. Let me see if I can fix this. This really drives me crazy here. Boom, we're going to go right to left. And then can we shift this or nope? All right, well, it moves the number over. Okay, fine. That's really what we should be doing, I guess. So let me tell you what, let me just do it for all of these. Just on the next few. Does it want to work or does it not want to work? All right, there we go. We'll just do this. They're all, put them on the right. There we go. Okay, that's better. So we got yesh li bayit gadol. Okay. En li sefer. And then number 3, go ahead and try to transliterate this one. Okay. Give you a second there to figure it out. All right, so the first one, we've seen this a lot tonight. Yesh lecha. Yesh lecha. There is to you. And then sefer tov. Yesh lecha sefer tov. Okay, there is to you book good. You have a good book. So there's a question in the chat. Am I thinking in English when I'm doing this or Hebrew. So with this, with Hebrew, modern Hebrew. I started studying modern Hebrew 21 years ago or something like that. So this is actually very normal for me at this point. And even the adjectives and stuff I started doing biblical Hebrew grammar back in 1999. So we're looking at 26 years. Uh, so yeah, the grammar is normal. I mean, a lot of these words I've known for a quarter century, and then reading the Bible for a quarter century in Hebrew, and then being able to speak Hebrew at a fairly proficient level for, the better part of 20 years. Yeah, this Hebrew is very natural in this regard. Yep. So, yesh lecha sefer tov. Okay. Maze. Maze. What is this? What is this? What is this? Okay. And then me who? Who is he? Let me just shift that over again, of course. Me who? Who is he? Who is he? Okay. All right. So what does yesh mean? No, there is, who, or good. Well, by now you know the answer is there is. It's a positive existential particle. There is. What does ein mean? There isn't, very, book, or house. We said that it is there isn't. It can also be there aren't as well. Question 3 here. Review question 3. What does li mean? To you, I, to me, or house? The answer is to me. Li, to me. All right, then translate this. I'm going to let you read it for a second. I want you to try to pronounce it on your own. I'll give you just 15 seconds or so. I want to thank all of you who are tuning in. Really appreciate your support for this channel. Really means an awful lot. All right. So, yesh lecha sefer is how we would pronounce this. Yesh lecha sefer. There is to you, masculine singular. There is to you book. You have a book. So the answer is B. Yesh lecha sefer. Okay. Next, go ahead and try to read that out loud on your own. And just take a second. I'll give you a second to do it. Try to pronounce each word. And again, it's okay if you're struggling with it. We're just trying to, as Dr. Leo Marvin would say, make baby steps. That's right. Tu tieni un libro. Yesh lecha sefer. Very good. All right. So this question 5. En bayit gadol. En bayit gadol. There is not house big. There is not house big. So the answer is B. There is no big house. There is no big house. En bayit gadol. En bayit gadol. All right. Question 6. What does ma mean? What does ma mean? Okay. What does ma mean? Okay. Is it who, what, yes, or no? And we've said before that ma means what. So the answer is B. Ma. All right. Question 7. Try to read that out loud. Again, I'll give you like 15 seconds to do this. Just try to read it out loud. All right, here we go. Yesh sefer tov meod. Yesh sefer tov meod. Yesh, there is. Sefer, book. Tov means good. And meod, very. So literally it means there is, book, good, Very. So the answer is there is a very good book. There's a very good book. Before we go on to our next one, just want, yeah, mom is slang for mother yeah, in the chat there. Just want to encourage everyone, if you would, go ahead and hit the like button. Trying to, influence this algorithm to spread the word to more people so more people find out about this channel. Really appreciate you taking the time to just hit that like button. Thank you so much. All right, so phrases with good. Okay, so the word tov means good. Okay, and let me just stretch all this out a little bit here. There, whoops, not what I wanted to do. Let's try that again. And there we go. Okay, so, so these are some biblical Hebrew phrases. So again, our goal is to get us reading biblical Hebrew, right? But for now, some biblical Hebrew phrases that use expressions that or words that we've learned. So one is ki tov. We saw that in Genesis 1. God saw that it was good. Vaya Elohim ki tov. Vaya Elohim ki tov. God saw that it was good. Ki tov. That good. That it was good. Okay. The word tov. Vihne tov meod. And behold, it was very good. Vihne tov meod. Vihne tov meod. All right, and then phrases with Elohim that we saw, the word for God, and Elohim. There is not God. There is no God, we could say. Ein Elohim. Ein Tov. There is no good. We know the word Ein. We know the word Tov. Okay. Ein Shalom. There is no peace. Ein Shalom. Okay, we could certainly say that right now with the current events. If you're watching the news, Ein Shalom. Ein Shalom. Okay, so let's do a little guided reading. All right, so the first sentence, try to read it out loud to yourself, and if you're able to, just pronounce these out loud to the best of your ability. Okay. And give you a few seconds, and then I'll read it out loud. All right, so number one is Yesh li sefer tov meod. Yesh li sefer tov meod. Yesh, first word. Yesh. Li, to me. There is to me. Sefer, book. Tov, good. And meod, form of atheism in the Bible. Yeah, well, it depends on if it's an absolute statement. Just looking at the chat here. Yep. Depends on what context you pull it out of. The question about, is this an atheistic statement? That's actually, there's a lot of complexity to this, because statements that look like, at least in the ancient Near East, statements that look monotheistic or atheistic usually are not. It tends to be hyperbole. So we'll have to talk about that some other time, and I'll share that with you. I'll give you examples. Okay. Yesh li sefer tov meod. So that's achat. Shtayim, number two. Achat, shtayim. All right. Shtayim is, well, I'm going to let you try to read that out loud. Okay. Yesh lecha bayit gadol. Yesh lecha bayit gadol. There is, to you, masculine singular, yesh lecha, bayit gadol. Yesh lecha bayit gadol. There is to you house big. You have a big house. If you want to make it a question, yesh lecha bayit gadol. Do you have a big house? Yesh lecha bayit gadol. Okay. Achat, shtayim, shalosh. Achat, shtayim, shalosh. Okay. So number 3, shalosh. Try to read that out loud. All right, first word, en. So, en li bayit yafe. En li bayit yafe. En, there is not. Li, to me. Bayit, house. Yafe, beautiful. En li bayit yafe. There's not to me house beautiful. I don't have a beautiful house. I don't have a beautiful house. En li bayit yafe. All right. Achat, shtaim, shalosh, arba. Okay, 4. Ma ze. Ma ze. What is this? Ma ze. What is this? No word for is, right? All right. Achat, shtaim, shalosh, arba, chamesh. Chamesh. Yesh sefer. Yesh sefer. Is there a book? Yesh sefer. Okay. Shesh. Hu tov. Hu tov. He is good. It could also be it is good. Hu tov. And then 7 is mi hu. Mi hu. Okay. Mi hu. All right. We'll do a little bit more here. All right. So we've already seen this. Yeshli sefer tov meod. There is to me book good very. I have a very good book. Sentence 2. Ein lecha bayit gadol. You do not have a big house. You do not have a big house. Ein lecha bayit gadol. Okay. Number 3. Ma ze. Yesh sefer. Like, and again, this should be. Sorry, I messed this up when I did this before. Yeah, there we go. That's what it should look like. So ma ze. What is this? Yesh sefer. Is there a book? Okay. Do the same thing over here. Just shift it over. Okay, so hu tov, habayit yafe. He is good or it is good. Habayit yafe. The book is beautiful. Okay, now we recently learned in our more recent lessons, yeah, yeah, or mise. Yeah. All right, so we recently learned in our lessons that the word lamad means he learned, and it comes from a verbal root, lamed, mem, dalet. Lamed, mem, dalet. Lamad, he learned. He learned. In the modern Hebrew present tense, which is the biblical Hebrew participle, can't talk, okay? Lomed. Lomed. The masculine singular form is lomed, and I don't know where the O went there. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, it should have a whatever. It can have a vav, it can be without a vav. Lomed. Okay? Lomed. And it means, as a participle, learning or studying, depends on what the subject is. So in modern Hebrew, lomed, okay, lomed ivrit would mean the he is implied here, studies Hebrew. Lomed ivrit. Lomed ivrit. Okay, the feminine singular form, we haven't done a lot with feminine singular pronouns yet, but we're starting to. Lomedet. Lomedet. Okay. So in the masculine, I am learning. Ani lomed. Ani lomed. I am learning. Ani lomed ivrit. I learn Hebrew. I'm learning Hebrew. Okay. A female would say ani lomedet. Ani lomedet. Ani lomedet. Okay. I am learning. He is learning. Hu lomed. So notice for I, it's lomed. For he, it's lomed, because there is no person. There's no first person, second person, third person with these forms. And so it all depends on, the pronoun there. So lomed is just a masculine singular present tense. It's not first person masculine singular, okay, or anything like that. It's just masculine singular. The person comes from the pronoun. Ani lomed. I am learning. Hu lomed. He is learning. I study Hebrew. I'm learning Hebrew. Ani lomed ivrit. Ani lomed ivrit. If a male is speaking. Number 4. Yesh li sefer. Ani lomed. There is, to me, book. I have a book. Ani lomed. Okay. Ani lomed. I'm studying. I'm learning. Yesh li sefer. Ani lomed. Okay. Next one. Try to read that out loud. See if you can figure out what it means. See if you can pronounce it. Figure out what it means. Yesh li sefer tov. Ani lomed. Yesh li sefer tov. Ani lomed. Yesh, there is. Li, to me. Sefer, book. Tov, good. I have a good book. There is to me book good. I have a good book. And then ani lomed. I am learning, I am studying. Whatever the context requires. Okay. All right, next. What does ani lomed mean? Ani lomed, does it mean he studies, I study, you study, or there is learning? Well, we know there is the word yesh. We don't have yesh. We know that ani means I, so I study. Ani lomed. Ani lomed. Okay. Question 2. See if you can pronounce the Hebrew on your own. Okay. Hu lomed. Hu lomed. Hu means he, and lomed means studying, so he studies. Hu lomed. Hu lomed. Question 3. Yesh li sefer ani lomed. Yesh li sefer ani lomed. There is, to me, sefer, book. Ani, I, lomed, I study. I have a book, I study. Yesh li sefer ani lomed. All right, and then we looked at the verbs to write and to speak after that. So lichtov means to write. Lichtov. The le means to, just like we saw with yesh li before. So the preposition le means to, and kaf tav bet has to do with writing. So lichtov with those vowels means to write. The root dalet bet resh, dbr, has to do with speaking, and lidaber means to speak. So lichtov, to write, lidaber, to speak. Okay. And then some of these things that in this lesson were warm-ups. Ha'ish tov, we had learned the word for man is ish. So ha'ish, the man. Ha'ish. And then tov is good. The man is good. Ha'isha tova, the woman is good. We looked at that in one of our later lessons. Ha'isha tova, the woman is good. Ha'isha tova. Hayeled babayit. Okay, these are some new words for tonight, but we've looked at these in previous lessons. Hayeled babayit. So bayit means house. Babayit means it's a contraction of bi ha bayit, in the house. And it contracts to babayit. So babayit means in the house. Hayeled is the word for like a male child, the boy, or boy, and ha means the. So the boy in the house. we would say the boy is in the house. The boy is in the house. Okay. Hayeled babayit. Hayeled babayit. Hayeled babayit. The boy is in the house. Hatalmid kan, or hatalmid po. The student, masculine singular. Hatalmid kan, the student is here, or hatalmid po, the student is here. Maze, what is this? Maze, what is this? Mize, mize, who is this? Mize. Efo haish, efo haish, where the man, where is the man? Efo haish. Okay. So a question in the chat there, when would one use haya in modern Hebrew? Past tense and future tense, for sure. Yeah, it's used all the time, just not in the present tense, generally speaking. Yep. Yeah. So we're only dealing with the present tense, but when we get into the future and in the future and the past tense, sorry, blanking out there for a second, then yes, we will see, we'll see it used all the time. Yep. But the reason I start with the present tense in modern Hebrew is A, because with any language, people are typically speaking in the present tense, and B, it's easier. And so if we want to take an easier approach to learning the language to give people confidence, hence the title Biblical Hebrew Without Fear, that's why I do the present tense to start us off there. Yeah. So, Ephaish, where is the man? Okay, and then in our next, video, we'll review some of this more recent stuff with all of the participial forms. So we had looked at, for the word to write, kotev is the masculine singular, kotevet, the feminine singular. So if a man wanted to say, I am writing, it would be ani kotev, ani kotev. If a female wanted to say, I am writing about herself, it would be ani kotevet. Okay. If we wanted to say, we are writing as a group, which includes at least one male, anachnu kotvim, anachnu kotvim. And we are writing, if it was all females, it would be anachnu kotvot, anachnu kotvot. Okay. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. Really appreciate your supporting the channel. Again, be sure to check out my Patreon page, Biblical Languages and Literature on Patreon. And if you would, please be generous with the likes. We only got one like for this video. Hard to believe. And I think it was me. I was liking my own video. Isn't that so sad? All right. So yeah, please, when you watch these videos or tune into these live streams, please be sure to hit the like button. Consider becoming a member, and we will see you next time. I hope everyone has a great Friday night. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.